My colleague, is a comment and an observation. My name is Awale Supulumu. I'm a resident journalist working with the University of Nigeria in KEBBI. My comment was like this. First of all, I would like to appreciate the Honorable Minister of Information for the transformation he introduced in the media in this country, especially those of us working in the NGA, New Zealand, Nigeria, and other federal media professionals, because we know what we're collecting before and we know what we're collecting now, as you and the NGA have considered the possibility and the availability of giving us a way around and other businesses around it. We are very grateful for that effort. It's a proof that you are one of the best ministers of innovation we ever had, and there is substantial level of freedom in this country now, since it came in power. So we are very much appreciative for your efforts in this area. Honorable Minister, KEBBI is strategically located in this part of the country and border two countries, and your value of skill and your contact can be used to produce a lot of identical products. One consider the possibility and the availability of maybe erecting an export processing zone from this part of the country so that this identical produce can be transported to the nearby countries for money. Another observation side is, since I came to the state of journalism for the past 6 years, KEBBI has been partnering with Governor Lack a permanent secretary. I wish you collaborate with the secretary so that you can have a befitting secretariat like any other state country. Last result, on the issue of duty in the state, I am very happy to tell you that even we don't we know we are believing we are seeing cases of intimidation, cases of harassment or media rights, every day, and it is as the NGO that honor is given to honor whom honor is due. I would like to thank the Minister of Information and Transport for permitting the NAM to be part of this record. As one an NGG president and also one PRO now, as we all know now, once the Congress is always. I would like to make a comment regarding my university. Actually, my university will not have any problem regarding the student welfare and also with our management. Whatever we have ever requested from our vice chancellor, he has always been providing a lot of welfare for charity in my university. But I would like to also request a single thing from His Excellency. As the union, I know Minister knows what it takes to be in the unity. We went for a national convention in Appointment. Likewise, we also went for a presidency in January this month. But still now, our union do not have its own energy. I'm pleading to His Excellency to please provide a vehicle for my union. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next.
When the
na titi shi ya ce kowace mace wajen harkar haihuwa idan ta kai asibiti maganin da aka bata haka haihu da awon da aka yi mata da yaron nan in an zaɓa sai ya shekara 5 suna shan magani. To a duk mamaki mu da ake da asibitocin gwamnatin jihar Kebbi muna da rikitin wannan, amma ta yadda medical center ta gwamnatin tarayya ba mu da rikitin wannan, sai suna da girma na amma ni ga an mance da wasu abubuwa cikin da kanka shi ne nake da yiwuwa minista tuni a kawo magana zama lafiya kasarta kowa ya san abubuwan da faruwa wajen manoma da makiya shin da ake yin da zama a kan kake wannan hayaniya ta wajen da gidan da burtu da mashayin shawo na uku shi ne duka furantar ya taho nan ya yi asuwa da kanta ya ke problem da tattalin shi ne yau ba ce alhamdulillah da yawa wannan ya cika alƙawari ya mana yi ba to amma ke kai muna hanya da kwanta gora zuwa su ne
haka abin da ya shafi noma don shi ne abinmu a nan talakawan jihar Kebbi. Abin da zan yi tambaya a kai ne abin da ya shafi noman rogo. 2003 shugaban ƙasarmu Chief Olusegun Obasanjo ya kawo muna harkar noman rogo har ya buɗa muna kamfani a garin Kalgo. Wannan kamfanin an zo an buɗa shi amma ba tare da yayin aiki ba. Lokacin ina iya tunawa akwai wani darakta a ma'aikatar gona wanda aka fi sani da suna Hassan Macido. To bawan Allah nan an yi ta rigingimu akan abin da ya shafi noman rogo, lokacin mun sa shi kuma an ban mu da shi kuma ba mu sai da za mu yi da shi ba. Na farko wani daga ciki ya rube, wani kuma mun sai masu aikin kiwon dabbobi sun canyi. Yanzu an kirkiro noman rogo an zo da shi a jihar Kebbi. Mu nan da muke wannan wahala hawa yau mu ne aka kira. To wani irin security ne na kare dukiyarmu da kuma lafiyarmu federal government ta yi akan wannan, saboda duk wanda mun ka taya da sunan ya zo ya yi, mun ba da site mun kira mutane kowa kokarin yake shiga noto in an ka noma abin ga an ka bashi da shi za ka biya ne. Matsala ta biyu sai abin da ya shafi hanyar Kwantagora zuwa garin Jega, ba gyaran hanya zan magana ba. Mun samu security waɗanda ke kula da hanyar, saboda ina harkar transport nan na san matsalar da muke fuskanta a kan wurin. Tsakani da Allah an rage rabalin kuma sun yi kokari kuma Allah ya saka musu da alheri. Babban matsalar da ake fuskanta tsakaninsu da direbobi ko mu da afatin da ke yawo a hanyar shine matsalar ɗan abin da bai taka kara taka ba jami'in tsaro yawa mutum walakanci. Shin wani tanadi federal government ta yi domin talakan da a cikin ƙauye bai da waye kayar kai nai tsakanin da jami'in tsaro ana ta samun matsaloluka wata rana har wani ya kai ga cewa zai halbe dan mutum. Dan hakan ga muna son.
Proud to have you here because we are privileged to have some of the programs and projects seen by shy governor. He's always a media shy governor. Thank God you are able to come out to showcase some of these things that we have seen, that these things are happening, they are realities in KEBBI. We thank you for coming to do that for us. Before my questions, I have some observations which some speakers came in their goodwill. And one of the good observation is the NTA Zulu, whom he said the governor should do. I believe that's a federal project, or do you want the governor to do, you pay him back? And on the issue of skill acquisition that speakers said, I think when you go around, we've had so many skill acquisition centers well equipped. It's only for the speaker maybe to have seen around, he will have seen some of those things that His Excellency have done. And in terms of rural electrification, a speaker spoke about rural electrification, which all the rural villages have all been well electrified. But we have some power injections like the Auri, which have been abandoned. We have the one in at the back of the Sokoto here, KEBBI here, about 3 abandoned NEPA projects. So what is the federal government going to do about those injections so that we can have full energy within KEBBI state, because they are all they have rural electrification connected. And finally, Mr. Minister, we thank you for giving the privilege to see that our governor, with all that he has done, not a single kobo was borrowed either from foreign or local debt banks. And at the same time, the due process he has implemented in making all those things you have gone around to see visible, that it can happen in all over the states. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. The Honorable Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Malu, other distinguished guests, members of the press, let me stand on the existing protocol. Let me also start by welcoming the Minister and all his entourage into KEBBI State. And thank you for going around the state in the last 4 days. And thank you for all the tour that we had. We were only able to touch 7 local government out of 21. I'm sure a lot of questions have been asked. From the starting line of the tour, I said there is no likelihood of seeing a pothole on KEBBI State roads. And I still stand by my assertion. For the 4 days that we have gone around, no pothole was found on KEBBI roads, maybe federal government roads. And for the person who said he was to disembark from his vehicle and go to the rice field in Suru, but the road that led him into Suru town was tarred up to the end of the town. It was only within the floodplains of Ribarima that he disembarked and made a journey of about 1 kilometer. He should not expect where you have rice fields that he can have his vehicle there, because it will never be motorable. There are a range of questions that has been asked. The first one was on KEBBI State Shopee money. To the person who asked the question, as I'm talking to you, KEBBI State allocation of Shopee money, both the state government owned and the local government, kobo was not touched. Kobo is not touched. We set a machinery that I don't think even federal government has set in. We made a law, carried it to the State Assembly, outlining all what we want to do with the money. We outlined 4 programs: agriculture, sanitation, afforestation, and education. And the committee on Shopi has already taken up with a membership from all the local governments, interest groups, NGOs, civil society organizations, the ulamas, and the traditional institutions. The organization is headed by a trustee of 4 emirate emirs representing each emirate in KEBBI State. Then the day-to-day running of the organization is being headed by a chairman who is a well-seasoned civil servant. He has served NNPC, served the federal government. He was a rector of this Umar Waziri Polytechnic before he retired. So KEBBI State Show money is in good hands and it will be utilized as ever. All the monies accrued to KEBBI is utilized. The second question is on airport. I think whatever we are doing, we should be futuristic. We should look into the future. KEBBI State is a tourist state. We have the famous Argugu Fishing Festival. Somebody from Jega asked a question: what do we do with their onions? Are we to export it? If we are going to export our primary products, agricultural products, we need an airport. Because most of these things are perishable. You can only take them within a small time and let them reach their destination. And that is what we are going to do with that airport. The third question is on teachers for the 200 secondary schools. We have taken census of all the unemployed graduates, polytechnic, university graduate, polytechnic graduate, and NC graduate. There are about 6,500 and something. We are going to employ all of them. And they will all be in the secondary schools and primary schools. When we went to the university yesterday, the Vice Chancellor said we are opening a department of education. I was the one who approached them to open the department, just to produce teachers for these 200 and more secondary schools. So I think before we establish the schools, we have a plan, and the plan will work, and we will see to it that we get enough teachers to employ to teach our children. We will never leave our children without care. Thank you very much. Somebody asked about that all this project that KEBBI State had, we should redistribute the remaining money and spend it because we don't need anything again. I don't think that is right. Public funds are not meant to be distributed. They are meant for development of KEBBI State, for maintaining services in KEBBI State. And that is what is going to be done with the money. We have paid all our entitlement. We pay our salaries 25th of every month. We have paid all our pensioners. We don't owe them 1 kobo. All the contractors, as of today that I'm standing here, no contractor is being owed. So, but the job is still the job is just starting. We have all said we want employment. The biggest sector that can employ everybody is agriculture. We are trying to expand our agriculture. I was just telling the Minister of Information that if we have cultivated 1/3 of our Fadama land this year, by next year we should be able to cultivate the whole Fadama area. That we should not see any space on the Fadama areas from Augi to Wara. There should be no need to see a space in between. Now we have a lot of patches that are not cultivated. We'll put our resources to cultivate these patches. I also informed the tour, the minister and his other members on tour, that the federal government, when we had flood in 2010, gave us 750 million to resettle those who are affected by the flood. When they gave us that money, we also put our own money, totaling almost above 3 billion. So in short, what was given to the farmers along or settlers along the river banks or the floodplains was almost about over 4 billion. And that is the money that you are seeing in this cultivation of rice along the river banks up to Wara. And between last year or 2 years to this time, we have distributed almost about 50,000 units of irrigation pumps. The federal government has given fertilizer. This year alone, everybody was given 3 bags. Any farmer that is farming rice was given 3 bags. The investment in agriculture should be very huge so that we employ all the idle hands that we have in KEBBI State. And that is why I don't think KEBBI will have the problem of unemployment. Not at all. After mopping this 6,500 graduates, taking the remaining youth to farms, there will be no problem of unemployment, unless if somebody wants to stay idle. Somebody sent a question that he wants to know where KEBBI State gets all this money. We are not magicians. The money given to us through the allocation, federal allocation that we get from Federation account for almost 80% of what we are getting. The remaining, we internally source about 400 million every month as revenue. So we are sure that will take place. It's not something that, and the Ministry of Environment, Federal Ministry of Environment is on it. And even the state government, that is why we put it in our Shopee chat, that we want to start having green wall or whatever. Everywhere in the state will plant trees. Women in government, everybody has asked, or every woman that stands will ask. We have only one commissioner. But nobody asks how many permanent secretaries we have or how many directors we have. We have so many of them. And in every local government in KEBBI State, as a deliberate policy, we have one councillor. I don't think even in Lagos we will get that kind of number for women to come out and participate. KEBBI has no that problem. So the women are coming up. You can't be in a position of a commissioner without participating in politics mostly. So we want them to participate in politics and they will be there. Somebody was saying in one of the questions, the university was started by the former governor. Yes, he started the university. We said so yesterday. But he started the university towards the end of 2006. 6 months, the present government came in. We paid almost 70% of all the cost of the infrastructure in the university. I enrolled the first students into the university. There's 500 students. And the Vice Chancellor said they started graduating last year. So count 3 years backward or 4 years backward. You will just know the truth. I don't need to lie to anybody. There was also a question on scholarship. What KEBBI State did was, for you to earn KEBBI scholarship, there must be a list from the university where you are enrolled, so that we can reduce corruption in the system. The university will enroll all the students. They will send us the list. We will use the list and pay the university the registration fee. Then we will also use the list to pay the students the scholarship. Any name outside that list, we don't concern ourselves with it. So if you happen to be from Abuja and you have parents who can pay registration for you, your name will not be in that list. That is sure. And that is usually what happens. But if you come back, you enroll as a KEBBI State student, we'll pay you. We don't need to owe anybody. We want education, and that is why we put the program down. There was also a question on Zuru development. I think the man, or whosoever he is, has not gone back to Zuru for the last 5-6 years. If he would have gone back to Zuru, he would have known there is serious development in Zuru. I think the members, we all went to Zuru together, and you have seen what is in Zuru. Out of the 4 local governments in Zuru, we have visited 3. Only 1 was not visited. So, and that is the truth. I think these are almost the whole questions. Let me once again thank the members of the Good Governance Tour for opening KEBBI State to the international community, to the national community, and to everybody who is watching this program. As a governor, if I am left alone, I will never do this. I can assure you of that. I have gone at length to stop myself from enjoying my life to do this job. And that is why whatever you see on ground is our own work. The civil servants, the people of KEBBI State, and the government. Some of the projects on ground, there was a demand from the community for such projects. Others were planned deliberately by the government. And this is why everybody, wherever you go to, there is satisfaction with what is on the ground. I deliberately, throughout this tour, left projects on water and electricity because they are so numerous to show anybody. The first year, I invested about 5 billion into water and electricity projects alone. And I have never stopped. So there is no village in KEBBI State which has about 2,000 inhabitants which is not connected to the national grid. And if there is any, they are here. Let them stand and say it. And water is available to most communities in KEBBI State. Nobody will say he will do everything. Even in my house, I cannot finish the job that I have between me and my family. But I try to do my best. And let me use this medium to thank my CO, Director of Intelligence, and Commissioners of Police, from the first one to the last. Because we operated as friends, as brothers. Sometimes we stay till 2 o'clock in the same house. There is no day these people will not visit government house, unless if they are not in town. So the relationship contributed immensely to the security of KEBBI State. Whereas also the community has done very well in policing their community. the minister said, this is systematic. It is an organized thing. It is not by accident these things are there and thrown to different places. Thank you very much.
The questions that affect you, Honorable Minister.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the course of the participation by the audience, which was very active today, and let me congratulate the people of KEBBI, because you have really participated in the Citizens Forum and expressed your feelings. Now, the purpose of this tour is to give citizens the voice to participate, to make observations, to ask questions, and to make contributions to the governance process. I am very happy with the active participation in KEBBI today, and it means that people of KEBBI are politically active, which is very, very good. Now, a number of questions were asked. What we observed in KEBBI was that we have seen local government projects, roads, local clinics built by the local government. And each one of them said they had built those things because nobody takes away their money. So in KEBBI, what we have seen is that local governments in different parts of the state have shown us projects, and we have seen them, so it's not telling you theory. And that is why I congratulated them and the state government for making sure that local government money went into local government projects for the services of people at the grassroots. Now, the green wall, the governor has already explained, but let me say this. The Green Wall project is a program initiated by former President Olusegun Obasanjo when he was in power. This program was accepted by all West African countries. The Green Wall was accepted by all West African countries under ECOWAS. After that, the Green Wall program was also accepted by the African Union. So the Green Wall project is aimed at fighting back Sahara Desert, and it stretches from Ethiopia all around to Senegal in West Africa. Various countries have started working on the Green Wall. In the case of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan only recently constituted a committee for the implementation of the Green Wall program. A lot of money has also been set aside, and at the moment, all the states are connected, particularly in the northern part of the country, for the implementation. Like the governor told you, the president was supposed to come here earlier to flag off the program. But I believe in a short while, the program will be flagged up. What does it seek to achieve? It seeks to ensure that all the areas in the north, particularly where the desert has chopped in, we recover every land area belonging to Nigeria to ensure that we fight back the Sahara Desert. If you notice, some of the wars that are going on in north-central Nigeria now between grazers and farmers are environment wars. Each time you are flying from Abuja to Sokoto or to Meduguri or to Gombe, you can see clearly that in many parts of this area now, there is no longer any sufficient grass to graze for animals. And so the animal riders are moving gradually down south to find grass for the animals. In the course of this movement, they also encounter problems with farmers. And this is spread across the north. It is more intensive now in north central, but it's even moving to some states in the south. Every day you are hearing of crises between grazers and farmers. It is environment wars. If the north does not restore its environment, it is going to threaten our lives. It's going to create difficulty for our survival. It is a pity that since the 60s, we did not take tree planting seriously. Now the federal government is apt to do it. We are also being supported by international organizations. My appeal to every state government in the north is to ensure that as this Green Wall program starts, let every state mobilize its own citizens, all the youths that are roaming the streets. If each one of them can plant trees and we pay them, we will have unemployment in the north. I mean, we will not have unemployment in the north. We have to mobilize our boys from the street to plant trees across the north. We can devote NYC to it, but we must get a planned program, which is what the federal government is doing in partnership with the states. So let me say that in the next couple of years, the most important program in northern Nigeria, in my opinion, will be the restoration of our environment through the Green Wall program. I was telling the governor in Ethiopia, already because of tree planting, old rivers are coming back to life. Old rivers that had dried up for centuries are returning back to life. So as we plant trees, we will save our environment, we will save agricultural land, and we will have a very good place to live in. So the north, please, the challenge is tree planting, and the federal government is now ready, and we want to partner with the state to restore the environment in northern Nigeria. In addition to that, we are also diverting water from Central Africa to Lake Chad. Already the federal government has paid the consultancy fee of $5 million. All the countries in the Lake Chad region are part of this program, but Nigeria has taken the lead. So what we want is to divert water from Central Africa to make sure that Lake Chad returns to life, to restore the ecosystem and save agriculture and human habitation in the area. That is another program that the federal government is doing in this part of the country. Now, somebody asked me a question about railways. Baba, he spoke in Hausa. I don't know whether I should say so in Hausa. It's a national program. The first, if you notice, for the past 20 years, the railways collapsed in Nigeria because of corruption and mismanagement. The train was no longer moving from Lagos to Kano. The entire railway line between Port Harcourt and Maiduguri broke down. So what President Jonathan has been doing is to continue with that program by late President Yaradua, to make sure that we return our railways to what it was in the 70s and 80s, and then build new rail lines. Now, the federal government in December completed the rehabilitation of the railways between Lagos and Kano. And I want to tell everybody here that since December to now, the trains are now moving again between Lagos and Kano regularly and weekly. That has brought down the cost of transportation between the northwest and the southwest. In addition to that, the movement of cement, the movement of fuel, petroleum products, is also being done now by the rail. Many private companies are now buying their coaches to use to transport goods between the Lagos port and the northern part of the country. We are doing so up to Canaan and Moda. The railway is being restored. In addition to this, the federal government by December this year will finish the rehabilitation of the railway line between Port Harcourt and Maiduguri. So by January next year, the train will move again from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. This is the first time in decades that the government of Nigeria is restoring railway services to bring down costs and allow mass transit to take place in our country. Between Abuja and Kano, the federal government is building a standard gauge rail that will move a fast train, modern train. We are already 50% halfway. We have done the work 50% already. It's expected that between now and next year, we will finish the first modern train line in the north between Abuja and Kaduna, and it will be extended to Kano. We have completed the first modern rail line between Etakpe Hills in Kogi State and Warri in Delta State. When I went on Good Governance Tour of Delta State, we rode on the rail line. That is the first standard rail line in West Africa. We have finished. What we are doing now is to ensure that we return it to service. In addition to this, we just recently awarded the contract for the first standard gauge rail line between Lagos and Ibadan. Contractors are now mobilizing to site and they will soon start work. That rail line will be extended right down to Kogi and Abuja, which is the strategic standard gauge line that will connect Abuja to Kano to Kaduna. All this one is going on. We are also now undertaking the design of standard gauge lines between Lagos, Benin, South-South up to Calabar, and also between Lagos, Benin to Southeast. All these are going on right now. When we finish, the federal government will announce their takeoff. We are working with the private sector to develop the standard rail lines that will reduce the movement by rail between Lagos and Abuja, for example, to about 3, 4, 5 hours. They will be faster than going by road. So these are going on, and we'll continue to talk about them. That is why this tour is a necessary tool for us to connect with you and let you know what the federal government is doing. Baba also talked, one other thing we're doing. Since the Tafawa Balewa government, we promised to dredge River Niger up to the north so that we can carry our goods from Warri Port up to the north here using River Niger. Between the Yaradua government and Goodluck Jonathan's government, we have finished dredging the Niger from Warri to Baro in Niger State. We have also completed the Onitsha River Port. We are about to complete the one in Baro, the river port in Baro in Niger State. We are working on the one in Kogi, Niger. That will reduce the cost of transportation and also increase commerce in northern Nigeria. We are about to finish the design of the dredging of the Niger from Lokoja up to Yola. So what government is trying to do is to return railways, return river transportation, so that we can reduce the pressure on our roads. The roads don't last because only Nigeria is a big population country where everything goes on road because we destroy our railways. So President Goodluck Jonathan is working hard to restore these services to the people of Nigeria. Baba asked me about the Kontagora, Sokoto, Kontagora, Jega, KEBBI, Sokoto road. Let me announce to you in KEBBI that that road has already been awarded. Contractors are now moving to site. The federal government, that road has been abandoned for almost a decade. The federal government has awarded the road in 2 sections. All the 2 contractors have been mobilized, and in the next couple of weeks, work will start on the Kontagora, Jega, KEBBI, Sokoto road, which is a major artery road in the country. Now, thank you for acknowledging that the president has already fulfilled the promise on the university. So you have it now. But next year, your children can be sure of enrollment. In addition to all the Almajiri program, he has also fulfilled. So, Baba, katabata chewa abunda shugabaka sache zeyi ina na ina kahi. What is the federal government doing about street begging in Abuja? Well, it is the Abuja administration is working on that to make sure that, you know, the people begging our citizens, it is not something that we can take harsh action. What we need is rehabilitation. And we also need the cooperation of all the states. We don't want any Nigerian to beg. And that is why the federal government is working also on employment. Your Excellency, I don't know what you have announced, your SHOPI program. I thank you because in most states, we have not seen separate program for SHOPI. But let me tell you that at the federal level, our SHOPI is working. The railway construction, most of the major roads in the country, Maiduguri, Kano, Abuja, Lokoja, Benin, the railway programs, it is now being funded by SHOPI. But in addition to this, the federal government has decided to employ 10,000 people per state on SHOPI. 10,000, state by state, for the next 3 years. We are right now undertaking the committee for the first phase in all the states. So in addition to the 6,500 your governor has promised here, the federal government will employ 10,000 every year. So in the next 3 years, KEBBI will have 30,000 youth taking up the street of KEBBI by the federal government under our Shopi. So if we connect that with what the state is doing, you can be sure, and our You Win program for both youth and women is also on board. And if you take that with the RISE effort here, I'm sure that many people will be coming to KEBBI to look for employment. Now, NTA Zuru, we have so many network of television and radio stations that were announced by the government some years back. Now, you notice that there are so many. We are taking them phase by phase. Yesterday, we just test ran the FM station here in Birni KEBBI. We have completed it. So the people of KEBBI, you can be sure that in the next couple of months, your FM station will be available for you for public enlightenment and to promote peace and development. We are also going to work on all the outstanding TV stations, including Zuru. So as I go back, I will study where we are on it, and I'm sure we will complete it. My brother asked about cassava. He said that when I came by, community sunche ayi noman rogo, ayi akebi, ayi ako nijihar, koma bado anseyaba ana fama da wahala kan wannan. So I'm speaking in Hausa, unfortunately, so that you can understand. A yanzu haka in ka duba, federal don't care about storage, we don't care about marketing. Now the agricultural transformation program is filling the gap, so that when you farm, you are sure that your rice, your cassava will be utilized. So that is why we are doing this with the private sector, because agriculture must be business. If it is not business, if it is government driven, it will be the same problem of the past. So the president and all of us are now working on it, and the new Minister of Agriculture indeed is making a lot of progress, and many people want to come and invest in Nigeria because of this new policy on agriculture. I think finally, let me thank the governor. Your Excellency, I saw two potholes only on some of your roads when we were addressing. When we were driving yesterday from Alero through Gwandu. No, there are some of them on your own roads too, and you say you have just marked them. When we ask, you say you have just marked them and you will soon do them. Yes, you have done a great work, great job, but there are still 1 or 2 potholes which are so. And I think you should work on them. They are not only on federal roads. I can assure you that the federal government, honestly, 2/3 of the roads in Nigeria belong to the federal government. And you know, when you have a country that has run down its railways, run down every other area of transportation, it's a miracle. You know, you find that every area of this country was crying for help when this government came to power. No railway, no river transportation, no, everything was crying for help. And so we have to prioritize, and we have to move from sector power. You can see all over. The federal government is building 10 new power plants. And we're sure that by the end of this year, by the grace of God, we are going to see stability in power supply when these 10 power plants begin to feed the national grid. We are also changing the transmission infrastructure in the country. This in addition to the work on railway, work in education, work in road transportation. So the programs are many. And I think people must begin to appreciate what this president has done is systematic planning. And I think this nation is going to see a lot of results from this administration. And that is why we are out here to share with you some of the things we are doing. Governance is very challenging. Finally, I thank you, Your Excellency. People keep saying, unless you have state police, you can't have security. Now look at what you have done now, connecting with the security agencies in KEBBI, and you have peace, and you have security. The federal government does not own police. The police are for the services of Nigeria. Those states that are ready to cooperate and integrate with security agencies and plan with them, definitely they have the capacity to give you peace like you are having in KEBBI now. I thank you. God bless KEBBI and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister of Information. We've heard it. Can we once more put our hands, ladies and gentlemen, for the Honorable Minister? Thank you. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, anything that has a beginning has an end. We are now coming to the end of this program. We started with prayers. We are going to close with prayers. So may I ask my colleague, Yahaya Umar, to please come forward and say the closing prayers. Yahaya.
Sallallahu Nabi Kareem. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. الحمد لله الحمد لله.
Thank you. Please, those from Abuja, can you stay behind? Okay.